Whether you will end up liking my recommendation or not highly depends on what you like about ORV in the first place. So, it's not a guarantee that you will enjoy the series which I will suggest to you in this video, but I think there's a huge chance at least. I've grouped the list of similarities between ORV and the other webtoon into 4 categories. We'll start with general stuff. Next, we'll focus on stuff related to the characters, and then the special relationship between the main character and a certain character. Then lastly, things that are related to the main character. There are so many for the last one, so it's further divided into these 5 subcategories. I'll be explaining them when we reach there. Now, let's begin. In regards to the story, setting, and world building, ORV and this other webtoon have many similarities with other action fantasy manhwa, but what's existing between the two, which are quite uncommon in others, are the following. It's set in the modern world and everything was like normal, but things became apocalyptic when reality became like a game. It's not only happening in Seoul since the phenomenon is international. To fight against disasters, people suddenly become like players and they become stronger thanks to some leveling system. The supernatural skills they attain are somewhat related to what they are like in real life. In ORV's case, Dokja got reader abilities since he read the novel which became real. In their universe, they fight against monsters, but they can also have monsters on their side. Although combat skills are needed to survive, non-combat skills are not underestimated in both webtoons. There is no pure good nor pure evil in both series either. Both webtoons aren't heavy on gore, but there are still a lot of gruesome scenes. These action fantasy webtoons have a balanced blend of other genres. Its tragic moments can pierce your heart. Then moments later, you're going to be crying tears of joy. But both webtoons are not romance-centric at all. Although some scenes can be so fruity that you cannot blame the fans for making wild interpretations. As for the characters, here are some things that are so great about the two series. Normally, it's the MC who is overpowered, but in these webtoons, the other characters are more overpowered than the MC. Female characters aren't portrayed as useless or objects on neither webtoon too. They're among the overpowered characters even. In both webtoons, even children are not portrayed as baggage either. The spotlight is not too focused on the MC, as the other characters get to shine too. Thanks to that, there's naturally character development as well. There is growth even to characters that are already overpowered. Although they do rely on the MC for his knowledge, they are not too dependent to him. They are attracted to the MC not only because they need him, but they are genuinely attached to him. Because of the MC's personality, other characters cannot help but love and get annoyed with him at the same time. Some of the characters have developed some split personality. It's like they are puppies towards the MC but are like a different person in front of other people. But most of the time, they are very protective towards the MC, sometimes to the extremes. Like many shonen series, the main character and a certain someone have some special friendship. So regarding the special duo of these two webtoons, they argue over little things. On the other webtoon, it's usually one-sided though, but they can still work together. And they work together surprisingly well. They are much stronger together even. They also know and understand each other better than the others. Their interactions are so special and sometimes intimate that a lot of fans are having a hard time believing that this is not boys' love. When being compared, the MC is the one who is seen as less remarkable than the other, since the other is seen as more gorgeous and much taller and is way stronger. Of course, unless the MC uses some cheat. But despite their striking differences, they are a perfect support for each other. They're pretty much like soulmates. Now, for the last category, there are seriously so many similarities between the main characters of the two webtoons, aside from being South Korean, guys. And for me not to take forever, I tried to describe their similarities as briefly as possible. Alright, let's start with the first subgroup. So, as the main character on their respective webtoons, they have some special and remarkable talent and ability. They both have an overpowered skill exclusive to them. It's a little unfair, but thanks to that skill, they had the ability to see the stats of other characters. But there are limits. On the other webtoon, they are more like flaws of the system. So I consider them as limits. Also, thanks to their special skill, they can copy another character's skill and can be very powerful for a certain period. Although their special skill is helpful in taking shortcuts on a lot of things, they are still a natural scammer who mischievously deceives other characters, especially those who try to trick them first. Of course, they are successful in fooling others thanks to their talent in acting. It's depicted in a comedic way to us readers, but they are actually good enough to convince the others in their universe. You cannot underestimate the main characters' wits. Although they attained it in different ways, both of them have the advantage of knowing what happens in the future. Since they will know what they need to prepare in advance, they are usually the ones with a plan. Because of that, they naturally act as the leader or the commander of the group. But even without knowing the future, they are still very intelligent. They can outsmart other characters even if they weren't valedictorians in their school days. The MC in the other webtoon wasn't even able to go to college. They are very careful when it comes to contracts. Contracts with them will have them on the favorable side, but still fair. The main characters of both webtoons have a group of close friends whom they treat as family. They are pretty much like the father of the group, sometimes like a mother even. They also have actual children in their group, at least one boy and one girl. The boy in the other webtoon is not really a small child anymore though, but the MC still sees him as a kid anyway. They both have a daughter whom they have adopted in some way, and it's official. They also have a daughter that is somewhat biologically connected to them, but it will be spoilery to say more. There's also a cute creature that looks like their pet, but they actually consider it as their child. In the ORV webtoon, Dokja's special creature hasn't appeared yet though, at least during the time when this video was released, but it should show up sometime this year. The loving main characters treasure their important people so much that everyone else to them is second or low priority, including themselves. On the other webtoon's MC's case, he has additional special treatment to a certain character since they are biological siblings. So, if others mess with them or their family, the MCs of both webtoons can be very angry and very unforgiving. Although they are physically weaker than their comrades, they protect their loved ones in the ways that they could. Sometimes it's too much even. They will do anything for their loved ones. They would even go as far as sacrificing themselves for them. So, if the MC says something like they would not do something dangerous, they cannot be trusted. After all, if there is trouble, everyone knows that the MC is involved in it somehow. everyone also knows how much the other characters care about these crazy MCs, but the idiots are too in denial to acknowledge it. And that makes their family and friends, who are fiercely loyal to them, so frustrated. The MC of both webtoons may have had fantastic abilities, but they still have striking weaknesses too. Although they are the smart type, sometimes they make stupid decisions and have regrets too. They are quite delicate, both physically and mentally, that they can break down anytime. They think others are much better than them in many aspects. No thanks to that, they belittle themselves so much that they don't even value their lives even though they don't want to die. Their complicated family issues make things more difficult. But even with all the hardship and insecurities, they work hard for something they wish for, and it's not something grand at all. And as much as possible, they want to attain that while being surrounded by their loved ones. I have listed a lot, but I'm sure I still missed something. Anyway, the other webtoon I'm talking about is none other than My S-Class Hunters. It's also known as the S-Classes that I've raised. Both Omniscient Reader and My S-Class Hunters are adapted from popular web novels. Although they are both action fantasy South Korean series with the usual gaming systems, they have a unique twist to the common tropes, and their stories are generally very different from the rest. They cover a variety of genres executed in wonderful balance, and they also offer different forms of entertainment. It's no wonder that they can appeal to a lot of fans, both male and female. The amazing artwork in both webtoons make it visually attractive too. The main characters of both titles are part of the infamous Manhwa Holy Trinity. In case you are not familiar with it, I'll be explaining that in another video. And as what was listed earlier, the things common between the two series make them more interesting and impressive compared to the rest. Because of that, if you are a fan of Omniscient Reader, there's a really high chance that you would enjoy reading My S-Class Hunters too. You can read My S-Class Hunters from the official Webtoon site or app, so hurry and join the fandom. But of course, like what I had said earlier in the video, it's not a guarantee that you will like My S-Class Hunters since people have different preferences, and that's totally fine. I've been making other videos recommending other webtoons that a fellow ORV fan might like. So, you might discover a new webtoon to read from those instead. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care!